Hi, welcome to VEDA Day 10, and today I'm going to finish talking about living gluten-free, some of the challenges about living gluten-free. There's a lot of rewards. I talked about those yesterday. But, so the cons, cravings. At first, when you first do it, you have a lot of cravings for bread and carby things, but after a while, those kind of go away. I still definitely get them, but it's usually when I'm hungry. Sometimes I don't even know I'm hungry, but I look at something that my kids are eating, and I'm like, oh, that looks so good. And I think to myself, oh, when was the last time I ate? And it was like 3 hours ago or something. I'll be like, oh, definitely time to eat again. So that's usually the case. It's just that I'm hungry, and that for whatever reason, the bread triggers some sort of craving. But I do want to mention that if you really are having issues with cravings, you can do gluten-free flours, like a soy flour or rice flour. They cook differently, so there you'll have to kind of experiment, but you can definitely make your own bread. You can buy expensive gluten-free bread, I'm sure. You can make cupcakes. I made those a while ago. They tasted kind of weird, but they were good, I thought. So if you really do get cravings, you can buy that kind of stuff. I haven't really made a huge effort to, like, my husband will make pancakes on Saturday mornings for the kids and for him, and every once in a while I think it'd be cool if I could eat these and have him make the pancakes with, like, soy flour or some other flour, probably not the soy flour for the boys. I wouldn't want them having that, but anyway, but yeah, typically it's like pancakes, like, that's a lot of carbs in the morning. Like, nah, I shouldn't eat that anyway. So I don't know, I'm okay with just not eating carbs, and that's how I deal with it. Yeah, meat tastes good, fruit tastes good, so I'm happy. Okay, this is the big one. Feeling like you're inconveniencing people. So you should always have something with you. I carry LAR bars with me, Lara bars. They have like 5 ingredients. They're so good, and they usually have like lots of nuts in them, so they have a good amount of fat and calories, which for me, I mean, that's a good thing, I think, because especially if I'm on the go running around and there's nothing around but a bunch of carbs, it's so much better to have a bar, instead of that. So that's really important to have a backup plan, or just go wherever you're going to go, like eat before. I've done that a few times too. If I know there's just going to be like pizza, and I mean, I could eat the top, but that's a lot of cheese too. So I don't know. I mean, sometimes I just eat before. Oh, yeah. So, survey the area before you ask. Like, if you really don't want to inconvenience people, like, definitely look. I was just at a meet recently, and they offered us dinner, and everybody was eating. I looked around, and it was a pasta with a red sauce and a huge, like, breadstick. And that was it. Oh, and salad. And that was it. And so I politely asked if there's anything else, like meat, fruit, vegetables, and she went and looked, and there wasn't. But then when I looked at the table closer, there was a meat sauce right next to the red sauce. So everybody's plates who I was looking at, they all had red sauce, but there was a meat sauce available. Nobody was eating it for whatever reason. So I just filled my plate up with a ton of salad and then scooped the meat sauce on top, and it was awesome. It tasted great. So I really bothered her for no reason. It was silly, dumb. Ordering out, yeah, this can be a challenge depending on what area you're in. My husband's hometown is a small town, and typically the smaller towns are like behind the times, and some of them don't even know what gluten is. So we have an issue sometimes when I talk to people in that town. They don't really have different meals to offer, so for gluten-free. So you really just have to know know your facts. And sometimes I know ingredients for certain entrees and sometimes I don't. But so here's an example of something I kind of knew. Well, chicken wings I thought were safe, and most of the time, any restaurant you go to, the sauce that they put on them has flour. Like, why? I don't know, but it does. So, yeah, I made that mistake once, just assuming an order of chicken wings with, I don't know what kind of sauce on it, but that was fine. No, it's not fine. What else? Oh, I went to Bob Evans just recently, and there was a gravy that came on top of, it was a breakfast dish, so it had eggs and sausage and potatoes, which is all fine, and some cheese. And I asked if the gravy had flour, and she looked at me like I was an idiot. Like, every gravy has flour, sweetie, you know. Sorry, I didn't know. And so I said, is there another type of sauce you could put on that doesn't have flour? And she said, no. And then I said, does your hollandaise sauce have flour? And she said, oh yeah, that doesn't have flour. So look around at the menu and see what your options might be before you just start asking questions, because sometimes people don't know things. And I had it with a tiny bit of hollandaise sauce, just to make it wet. It was fabulous. I forget what it was. Sunshine skillet, maybe. It was so good. So those are my stories about some of the inconveniences. A lot of people are so nice, and sometimes it's like I feel bad that they're so nice. Like my family, my husband's family, they like go out of their way for me, which is silly, you know, because most of the time there's a lot of options you can eat that don't have carbs. I mean, really, it's not that hard. So, but it's nice when people make you special things. It's really nice, and usually it's stuff that they want to eat anyway too. So that's my story about it being difficult at times, but it's really not that difficult. The rewards are definitely better. They outweigh the cons. So if you're thinking about it, go for it. I'd say do a trial for 2 weeks, see how you feel, and I think you'll probably feel better. Huge percentage of people have a sensitivity to gluten and they don't even know it. I didn't know it if it wasn't for my naturopath telling me that I did. So anyway, that's my story. Thanks.